You're about to enter the world of Bizarro Superman, where bad is good and good is bad. This is a world where me like a mugly, me put new arms on Venus de Milo. Sounds like a great idea. It's a world where a company with horrible sounding statistics is in fact a thing of beauty.
How's a pleasure?
A world where I think you should buy level 3 communications, LVLT. If you thought Mad Money was always Bizarro World, if you thought Cramer was always out of his mind, of course, always promoting the new book, Jim Cramer's Mad Money, Watch TV, Get Rich, with a maniacal lack of shame, get ready, Ski Daddy, for a new level of insanity. Yep, I think level 3 is a buy. No, it's not a buy. It's a buy. Triple buy. Here's a little background information on the company. $6.8 billion of debt. No single quarterly profit since 2003. Just took down another $600 million in debt with a Shylock. If you prick me, do I not bleed? Coupon of $9.25. That's right, 9 1/4. With an option on a pound of flesh. Because the market doesn't trust LVLT. In the last quarter alone, level 3 communications lost $138 million. Very scary. Standard & Poor's rates their debt triple C minus.
The House of Pain.
About the worst rating there is, and there is absolutely nothing gentlemanly about those C's. LVLT? Maybe. Despite its mountain of ugly debt and unprofitability, LVLT just spent $3.68 billion in cash. And in stock, your stock if you own it, on a buying binge where they took over a half dozen companies. Not done. They plan to buy even more. Finally, LVLT is losing its single best customer. Another one probably on the way. As I said before, welcome to Bizarro World. It will be hard to paint a more negative picture of LVLT than I just did with those numbers and statistics. From everything you've heard, this one looks like the mother of all stinkers. A train wreck or a heart attack. No epinephrine. But I still think, I have to tell you, buy! You think I lost my mind again? You think I'm on a mission to confiscate your wealth with a speed that even Mao would appreciate when he plowed under those rightist, reactionary capitalist voters? If you think that, I got to tell you something. You are dead wrong. Remember the rules of Bizarro World. What's bad is good, and what's good is bad. See, LVLT is actually a thing of beauty here. Why? Well, how about because it's loved in the bond market where high coupon debt with a high interest rate, is hard to come by, and LVLT is proud to supply the bond guys with whatever they want? How about because in the stock market, despite the debt and the lack of profits, LVLT has accelerating revenue growth, and that's the one thing we care about above all on Wall Street. LVLT is the ultimate speculative growth stock for 2007. You know why? Because they're the primary provider of internet connectivity for millions of people worldwide. This is it. LVLT is the perfect call on YouTube, on MySpace, on every other internet organic video play. Every time you hear about a new hot website, LVLT is its backbone because they provide the bandwidth. And according to Cramer, we're developing a serious bandwidth shortage in this country. Not yet, but within the foreseeable future. Put simply, the growth of VoIP, Voice over Internet Protocol, the growth of the Internet, the growth that is stemming from all these servers serving all this voice data and video, it's going through pipes. And the pipe that has the most updated and modern capacity is LVLT. Company's got dramatic accelerating revenue growth, a core business that is growing at 6% organic, 40% with acquisitions. I think it'll grow even faster next year after it integrates its latest acquisition. But honestly, as great as that is from the stock side, it's really the bond market's thirst for high-yield paper. Treasury bills give you almost no yield. That's providing LVLT with nearly unlimited credit to make these acquisitions. Even though LVLT had to pay a 9.2% interest rates for its most recent gulp of debt, it went to a premium. The market lapped it up. They loved it. Now, most of the analysts who cover the stock just despise it. They want a company that will make a profit now. But I don't know if LVLT can make a profit this decade. I don't even care. What matters is that when interest rates are headed lower and you have a relatively steady cash flow needed for growth, you can issue equity to buy other companies, all things LVLT has, you've got a prescription for long-term profits. Look, I know, none of this would matter at all if there were a joker running the company. We couldn't be in bizarre world if there was an unknown quantity at the helm of LVLT. But no, LVLT is run by James Crow. And that man is anything but a joker. Mr. Crow made me a fortune at my old hedge fund with MFS Communications. He took it public in May 1993 with a split-adjusted IPO price of $10 a share. Wow. He sold the company at the end of 1996. Last close, $54.50. That's a 445% return over 3.5 years. Who in the world has that kind of track record? Jim Crow does. James Crow, the CEO of LVLT, is the real deal as far as I'm concerned. He may be the only survivor, and of course, the only guy who wasn't charged for doing something in violation of federal law in the telco business. I mean, the man's about as good as he gets. But you know what? Don't believe it just from me, all right? Don't believe my take on level 3 communications. You think it's an indebted piece of junk, like most of the analysts say. You don't think LVLT is the single best speculative play of 2007. You think I'm just hyping it for some reason. You know, I don't even know why you think I'm doing it, right? So don't take my word for it. Let's bring on the man himself, James Crow. Mr. Crow, you heard what I had to say. You think I got it right?
Well, I like the second half of what you had to say, Jim, better than the first half. I was getting kind of depressed there.
Well,
before we start, let me congratulate you on the last book, and I got my copy of Mad Money coming from Amazon.
Oh, you are terrific, Mr. Crow. Thank you. You know I had to set it up like that because I really want people to know that what matters to me is you've got a great growth story, you've got a terrific interest rate environment, and your past is so great that I'd rather have them all know the negatives so that when the stock drops a little, they won't freak out.
Well, and any investor ought to hear all sides of the story. I'm pleased to say ours is improving as we speak. There was a period 3 years ago where things were rough, frankly.
Right.
But as you point out, demand continues to grow at rates that any industry would be happy to have. That's soaked up a lot of the excess capacity. And we think we're in a pretty good position.
Now, what do you say to people who say, well, wait a second, their EBITDA is it's just a little bit better than all the interest expense, and how can you possibly spend enough money on your capital expenditures if that's the case?
Well, I'd simply point out that we have, and this is net of the acquisition we hope to close in January of Broadwing, we have over $1 billion in cash. Most of the analysts have us turning cash flow positive sometime here in the next 4 or 5 quarters. So we think we have a pretty good cash position, far more than we need internally, and we can use that to invest to continue to grow.
Mr. Crow, do you think that I am right in believing that sometime down the road we will have a bandwidth shortage and that will play right to your excess capacity?
In my view, we are going to have demand for bandwidth that grows at, and it's hard to be precise, but 60, 70, 80% for as as far as the eye can see, and I use that word tongue in cheek, the future's about the eye. It's about video. The last 100 years about the ear. It was about the telephone system. Now it's all about moving what today you buy on a DVD or maybe see on a cable television system. That's all moving to the Internet, and we think we're in a good spot to benefit.
All right, Mr. Crow, one last question. I've been telling people it's entirely possible that there could be one day 25% growth, not the 6% organic growth that you gave, but 25% growth for this company if things pan out. That's where I need to know whether I'm doing pie in the sky or not.
Well, and I'm glad you point that out. I'd point you to the last quarter. In the parts of our business which are going to represent maybe 3/4 of our revenue that are growing, we're already growing 6% a quarter. That compounded's about 25% a year. The parts of our business that are going away are going to be gone next year. So what's left, we think, is already growing at that kind of rate, and we don't have to do anything different than we're already doing to see that kind of rate. We just need to continue to execute.
Excellent. Okay, that's James Crow. He is the man who runs LVLT. Thank you, Mr. Crow. I'm going to be very clear on this. I believe that this is the best under $10 stock I know. And you know I like Rite Aid. You know I like Denny's. This one is the real deal. Mr. Crow is the real deal. I am sticking by my 1, 2, 3. The bizarro world lives. LVLT is your speculative gift from Mad Money.